Thanks everyone. I'm going to talk to you really about the Galway County Council's view of local authorities' management of the sector, rather than, I suppose, the general local authority view of it. I can't seem to get my... Oh, here we go. Okay, so my name is Mike Sheil. I'm Senior Executive Engineer in Galway County Council in the Rural Water Programme. I'm going to just explain to you about Galway, our perspective, size of the county, and the stuff we deal with on a day-to-day basis and throughout the course of every year. So, our organisation, basically, we are under the Emergency Services, Climate Action and Physical Infrastructure Directorate. We were in that directorate when we were Water Services. We're now Rural Water, and we're divided into two areas. I look after projects, compliance and auditing, and my colleague Borrick Brannock, who's here, looks after taking in charge, and we've a large role to do in that too, and I'll take you through that. We have 4 administrative staff and 6 engineers in the programme, which isn't a huge amount of staff, but we are fairly well resourced, we feel. Our role, like we have a statutory role, as you know, which would be that we are an equivalent to the EPA under the Drinking Water Directive, and that means we have a responsibility to do auditing. We're also responsible for kind of water quality auditing, testing. We provide well grants, as you know. We gave out 138,000 last year to 55 applicants. We do our environment section, do the inspection of domestic wastewater systems, and they go around doing that. We also do auditing of group schemes and private supplies, people who provide food-based, like maybe somebody's producing food, or national schools that might provide water to the public, to their students. We audit them as well to monitor compliance. We manage the multi-annual programme. We take submissions from our group schemes and we submit them. We've done that already this year, and we're awaiting that. I'll go through that in detail, a little more detail later on. We pay out subsidy payments, and we're also managing Measure A8 of the programme, which was earlier on last year. We were able to submit an application to seek funding for a foul sewer network and for Croppel and Clare Bridge, and we were successful in getting that. We're delighted to get that because it's badly needed in those 2 villages. So I'll give you an idea. This is a map of County Galway. I just want to give you an idea of the scale. So anything, the colours, I know you can see them there. The purple ones are schemes that have been taken in charge. But just to give you an idea of the county and the coverage of it. So the purple ones are ones that are in charge. The blue ones are ones that are connected to Irish Water, and a large number of them have asked to be taken in charge. And we have a large job ahead of us to do that. And the green ones are the independent private ones that have their own supplies. Galway is the 2nd biggest county in Ireland, and if you look over there, Banagher and County Offaly, we've groups in there called Esker. Esker is actually as far east as we're standing right now, so we're a big county, and if you were to drive from Esker up to Tully and northwest Connemara, it would take you 2.5 hours. If you were to drive to Dublin, you'd be there in 1 hour and 3/4. So that's the scale of the county, and I'll go through that now in more detail. So within the county, we have private schemes. Total anything over 2 houses is a group water scheme, and we have 291 of those in Galway. The unregulated ones that are less than 10 cubes a day or supplying less than 50 people, there's 139 of those. And the regulated ones, we've 76 private supplies. That's greater than 10 cubes, and probably a lot of people here would be from schemes such as that. We also have 76 schemes that are still group water schemes that are supplied by Irish Water. So to give you an idea of the population that's served by this, our private group schemes every day would supply 36,500 people with water. The public schemes would supply 15,500. So that's, in County Galway, it's 52,000 people in Galway every day get water from group schemes. That's 27% of the County Galway population. Just to put that into context for you, nationally, like the group scheme supplies 6% of water. So Galway is very large in that respect. Our group scheme sector are managing 2,200 kilometres of water mains. Now that's a fair amount of water mains, as you can appreciate. And to put that into a bit of context, Galway has 7,000 kilometres of roads. So it's a lot of water mains out there. Okay, now I'll give you the warts and all. We have water quality issues. We have 11 schemes that are on boil water notices. I'll go through those in a moment. We have one that's on a do not consume notice. I won't mention the scheme, but unfortunately they had huge levels of iron and manganese started to appear in their borehole, and it actually exceeded the World Health Organization standards. So the HSE put a do not consume notice on them. Trihalomethanes, we have two schemes that are in the ECJ case. That's an issue that has to be dealt with and solved, as Fenton has said. And we've got 5 more that have had exceedances in the last year or two, and we're kind of working with them now to see what's the cause of that and can we solve that sustainably. So if I look at the solutions to those problems, we've got 11 group schemes there that are on boil water notices, and there's various solutions to their problems. 6 of those schemes can connect to Irish Water, and 3 of them are in the process of doing so. We're taking that through that process. Of the 11, 3 of them we solved by amalgamations with the neighbouring groups, and that's an area I think I would encourage schemes to do. I would look that if you're a large, big scheme, I'd encourage you to amalgamate it, take in a smaller scheme if it's near you. I think it's a good solution in many respects. We have a treatment upgrade will be required in one of them. We've submitted that under the programme. And there's other improvements there that are submitted under the multi-annual programme. We have one scheme then that has an operational and maintenance practice improvement that they have to do. It's just a matter of them monitoring what they're doing and keeping the standards up. So their chlorinations issue there, so we hope will be out maybe the end of next week. The do not consume notice, as I said, that is to connect to Irish Water, and that would solve the issue, their issue, and we've had the meetings and they've made the decision to do so. I should point out a very important part of that whole process is the engagement of and the leadership that the Federation provides to the group schemes. Karen Carney is the representative of the National Federation in Galway. She's an excellent lady for her role and her job, and she's been very instrumental in helping those schemes to carry out make those decisions in accordance with their rules and regulations, and I'd like to thank her very much for that. It's been very, very helpful in addressing these issues. THM issues, we've 2 of them that are difficult to solve. We're trialling or should I say the scheme are trialling use of a kind of a granular activated carbons type of carbon filter, and we're finding one of those is proving very successful in one case and not in the other, but we'll be having to solve these issues. We're meeting with the department on a regular basis about this, and these problems have to be solved. It's as simple as that. We have to comply with drinking water regulations, and we have to solve these issues. Okay, I'll take you to an area I don't really deal much with on a day-to-day basis, which is subsidy. Just to give you an idea of it, a quick run through. basically when you submit your subsidy form, you're confirmed that you're complying with the drinking water regulations. You don't charge for domestic water. You're supplying compliant drinking water. You're implementing a quality assurance process, and you're conserving water. You're managing your network to do so. There's 3 subsidies, A, B and C. Subsidy A gives a scheme to €231 per house for a private scheme, and €215 a house for a public scheme. And of course, it's at a minimum, it's of 85% of your expenditure, the remainder coming from your non-domestics. Subsidy B is paid largely for O&M in the GPO schemes. There's fixed charges which are paid at 100%, volumetric charges at 85%, and all the schemes here would know far more about that than I do. And subsidy C then is a supplemental payment that can be paid to a scheme to incentivise them to amalgamate or rationalise, and that can be paid for up to 3 years. Just on the size of Galway, in 2023 we paid out €5.3 million to 125 group water schemes. So that's a fairly large proportion of the 40 million that Fenton has informed us about. So this Galway explains that we are a big county. Okay, so the next thing I'll mention is the multi-annual programme. So you all know it's a 3-year rolling programme with 9 measures in it. One has already been allocated to wastewater, foul networks and treatment. We were very happy to get just 19.3 million in funding towards those projects, and we'll come up with the remaining 15% ourselves. There's 50 million nationally, so these are 2 very strategic towns and villages in County Galway that have major problems with DPI, which is developer provided infrastructure, and kind of threats to the environment. There are also areas that will grow very heavily when we get the foul sewer in place. There's going to be big demand for housing in those areas, and we see that as an area that's going to deliver a lot of housing for Galway as well. There's various measures there, measure A7, A1 to A7 and A9. You all know them, but I won't go through them. We had to prepare options reports in certain instances. This year was a change, was to compare connecting with Irish Water versus staying on your own as a group scheme, and the funding of that. And we prepared a number of those. It wasn't as onerous as we thought it was going to be at the start, because there weren't as many of them had to be done as we had first anticipated. The multi-annual programme, so we submitted that in April, and all of our schemes, we have 100 projects gone through, and I'll show you just a quick synopsis on that, and they're all gone to stage 2 now, so we're waiting that. This is just a brief mention of all of that. So there's measure A1 to A9. We've 100 projects gone in. It's not 100 group schemes, because some of them might have 1 or 2 proposals in there. So 100 out of 900 is a fair proportion of what we're looking for out of the multi-annual programme. And the value of all of that is 12.3 million that we've put in. So we'll wait to see. So we'll be told in a couple of months' time we're getting absolutely all of it. I'll be taking note there, do we, on that one? Okay, so another thing we do is auditing. This is a very important area for us. We're looking at it. We look at auditing as quality assurance, where we go out and first off, most important thing to do is go out and collaborate and meet the group scheme, get to know who we're dealing with, and for them to get to know us. It's not an audit kind of has the perception of somebody going through your bank account and telling you you're not paying enough of tax or you're not doing something right. We're there to help and support and to identify problems that there are in a group scheme or areas that we can strengthen. The idea of this would be that if we apply a proper quality assurance process to this, we'll identify the problems before they happen. And a lot of the things I spoke about earlier are where we've had treatment or water failures because the final water fails. If we can identify the weakness, we can solve those problems before they happen. And we're going to be rolling that out. We've done all of our schemes that are on the remedial action list and on the boil water notice list. We're going to roll that out to every single one of our group schemes. What we're trying to do when you do an audit is we look at each group scheme from the catchment to the source to treatment and the management of the network. What we're trying to identify here is that there are robust barriers against contaminated water entering supply. And if I was to define what rural water is all about, if it was a mission statement, that would be it. Are the robust barriers to contaminated water getting into supply? So what happens if your Clorox pump stops pumping in the middle of the night? Does the water keep going out without being disinfected? So these are the things we look at. So we'll be rolling that out, and it's good to get out there, but that is our approach to it. And we're hoping at the end of our report, we provide what we call an improvement schedule. That's the action items that we feel need to be taken forward and things done to improve the process, and then we'll monitor that going forward. We'll also use that to seek funding from the department when we go to multi-annual programmes, and we've identified issues that need to be addressed. So, future challenges. There's a lot of these. I've shown down some of them there. THMs, I suppose, exceedances and non-conformances, they have to be solved. We can't continue as a country or as a sector to provide water where it doesn't meet the drinking water regulations. These are a small cohort, and I suppose I've spoken an awful lot about them, but if you were to look at the amount of schemes, the majority of our schemes, the vast majority, are well run, provide compliant water, and we can focus. I suppose we're focusing on the problems we have because, if people aren't going to look at you and ask you, they're not going to compliment you on all of the ones that are great. If you get 94% compliance, they're not going to say it's wonderful. They're going to say, well, what are you going to do with the remaining 6? And this is the challenge we have to deal with. So we have to solve those problems. I think in the regulatory sense, schemes have to provide, water safety plans. As water abstraction registration is something that's probably coming down the tracks. And I think also, nitrates, manganese is a problem. It's the first time we've had a do not consume notice in Galway, and it opened my eyes really to the issues that are there in terms of trying to have proper treatment for the water supplies you have. That is a problem going forward. I think regulatory compliance it's going to become more onerous and demanding as the years roll on, and it's something that we'll have to focus on. I think for the sector, what I would say to us, I suppose most of the people that are here are from, talked about hurling earlier on, they talk about playing senior hurling. I mean, you're all senior hurling group water schemes. The ones that need the assistance are the small ones. And I think for those small ones, where a larger neighbouring group scheme will accept them to amalgamate with them and expand into them, that is, we've had that solution in County Galway in in Kilreekle, where we've supplied a scheme called Kilcooley. Captagal are here today. They had capacity and they agreed to provide that supply and to take ownership of that scheme when it's completed. And that I think is the future for the sector. You've got to consider yourself as a small public utility. And if you're a small public utility, you have more customers, you're stronger, you can be more professionally managed, you can afford to deliver a good service rather than trying to do it on a voluntary basis. Even though I think volunteerism is extremely important and community spirit is very, very important in this sector. And it's what rural environment is all about. With a changing environment for ourselves regulatory, there's plans to regionalise the management of group water schemes from a local authority perspective. We have to wait and see what happens with that. I suppose there's different sizes fits all out there. The big counties and small counties. We're a very big one, so we don't make government policy, we implement it, so we'll see what comes in that. But I think a professionally run process is what's important, and to achieve the same standard in the group water scheme sector is what the challenge is for us, as what would be provided by Fishguard. So that's really all I have to say to you. I just want to thank you for your attention and look forward to taking any questions later on. Thanks very much.